Here's a strong first draft anthem for the Zoom community forums and the new Zoom community live sessions. Tomorrow. Someone's got a question. Someone stuck today. A setting disappeared somewhere. A meeting went astray. They type it in the forum, hoping someone sees. Then voices from the community bring answers with the keys. Not just a help desk, not just a screen. It's people helping people with every tool between. Zoomers, users, hosts, and guides all standing side by side. When we share what we know, the whole room comes alive. We're building it together, one question at a time. In the Zoom community, where every voice can shine. Every other Friday, we bring the answers live, with demos, chats, and problem solving, helping ideas thrive. So raise your hand, jump in the room. There's always more to learn. In the Zoom community, we help the whole world turn. Sometimes words are not enough. A screenshot shows the way. Sometimes it takes a live walkthrough to make the problem fade. The forum starts the story. The live room brings the spark. From how do I fix this to now I've hit the mark. Employees with the product, users with a need, champions with experience, all helping others lead. No one knows it all alone. That's why we gather here to listen, learn, and pass it on with answers loud and clear. Yeah, we're building it together, one question at a time. In the Zoom community, where every voice can shine. Every other Friday, we bring the answers live, with demos, chats, and problem solving, helping ideas thrive. So raise your hand, jump in the room. There's always more to learn. In the Zoom community, we help the whole world turn. From meetings to webinars, events and rooms as well. From where's that button to stories we can tell. Every question matters, every answer grows, because the more we share it, the more the community knows. We're building it together, one question at a time. In the Zoom community, where every voice can shine. Hey! Every other Friday, we bring the answers live, with demos, chats, and problem solving, helping ideas thrive. So bring your questions, bring your wins, bring the things you've tried. In the Zoom community, we solve them side by side. Ask it, share it, show it, solve it, learn it, build it. Zoom community live. Ask it, share it, show it, solve it. Every other Friday, we bring the forum alive.
Hi there and welcome. I'm not quite sure how I follow that now. I've put so much effort into the opening. What do we do next? But that's the point. That's the point of this show. It was really difficult for me to work out what to do. I'm John and I'm a community champion for Zoom. In fact, I'm a super community champion for Zoom. I'm not a Zoom employee. Haven't got shares. I really should sort that out. But I love Zoom and I love helping people do things with Zoom. And that's why I love being part of the Zoom community because I learn more from you guys than ever I give you in answers. And people keep saying, why don't we ever get to meet these people who run the community? So I thought, okay, well, I'll start a show because I've got a lot of shows. You might find out I've got a lot of shows. But I thought I'd do one for the Zoom community, specifically for you, the Zoom community, and specifically for highlighting those problems which just keep coming up again and again. Those things that keep knocking us over. Had a good look at the system, had a good look at the questions. What do I put in my first ever show? Well, looks like blue sky thinking here with this screen share. But what I want to share with you is what didn't happen at the beginning of this show. I hit you with some music. I hit you with energy, I hope. And that, I think, is probably the biggest problem that we have for running meetings, running events, running webinars, joining meetings, is getting that energy and, to be honest, the courage at the beginning. Because the very beginning is so scary. Is everything going to work? And the chances are something won't work. And that really throws us all off. And that's probably where we get the most frustrated comments in the forums. So I'm going to give you a few of the things that I do every time I go to an event. Every time I go to a meeting, there are certain things that I do. Now, it's going to be a little bit tricky to show you because I'm going to show you a thing in a thing, but I'll try and keep it simple. The first thing that I always do before I start a meeting is I click on that little button by the audio and I get a list of all the microphones and the speakers that I have on whatever machine, because I've got a few, that I'm on. And I always hit the test speaker and microphone button. Now, the test speaker and microphone button will allow you to select your devices and listen to them. And you don't have to have your microphone on to do this. I'll say that again. You don't have to have your microphone on to do the test. So I could actually do the test now, live in this meeting, and you wouldn't hear me. I know for a demonstration that sounds pretty silly, but you wouldn't hear me because I can mute myself and then I can test my microphone on my speaker. And then when I'm happy with it, I can then turn on my microphone for real. So if somebody else is speaking, I can test my microphone or I can do it before the meeting even starts. Now I've used my little screen scraper here and I'm going to show you the screen that I'm looking at. So this is the microphone button that I click on. And when I click on it, let me zoom it up a bit, make it a bit bigger for you. As you can see, I've got a set of microphones here and I've got a set of speakers and then I've got my microphone mode. So I can also check I've got my noise mode on. So every time my phone makes a noise in the background, hopefully you're not going to hear it. And I've clicked on this little icon to tell me, and I've used this because this is what I share in the forums a lot. I take a picture of the screenshot. Oh, that's the wrong, I want this pen. And it's that little up arrow that I press. And that gives me this menu. And then I can use this test speaker and microphone button. When I click that, it then opens up a box for me, which is playing a ringtone into my head. Okay. And you're not going to hear that because you're not hearing my speaker. And if I then choose whichever audio I want, then I can make sure that it's working. And if I'm happy with that, I can click yes. And I get a chance to hear my audio back to me. Now, when I stop speaking, it will say back to me, but you won't hear it again. And if I wanted to do this test, I could turn my audio off, and I'm going to turn my audio off on purpose. So the fact that you won't hear me speaking is going to be obvious. All right. So you see, I was able to do that testing without you even hearing what I said. That is the most powerful thing that you can do in a meeting. Because what's the things people say? Can you hear me? If you do that, then you know they can hear you because you've tested it before. So that's number one. Get your audio right. Look, because it doesn't matter what you look like. If people can't hear you, you're not going to get anywhere. So test your audio is the first thing we're going to do. That's lesson number one. And I'm going to come back to it in a second. Well, in a little while, because we're going to talk about something else first. And that is now, what about your video? Now, I can't put this politely, but I hate virtual backgrounds. All right. I really do hate virtual backgrounds. Not because they don't look good, but because if you don't have a really powerful PC, when you have a virtual background and you start waving around your hands and your fingers disappear, it looks bad. And people quite often do virtual backgrounds and it's as if they're trying to fake where they are. Now, I do hundreds of webinars, and I do at least 5 webinars a week at the moment. And I join lots of meetings. And you know what? If you have a fake background, your credibility crashes. Honestly. Because we're all curious. We want to know where you are. We don't like fake backgrounds. Remember that thing when you meet somebody, if you meet somebody and they've got a fake Rolex on, it's not real. Oh. Now, I know you use fake backgrounds all the time because you're in a busy office, but aren't you proud of the fact of the business you work for? So have a background that's real. I'll tell you what, last year, I can probably move the camera around and show you, but I've got these big lights and they're big, studio type lights. They weren't as expensive as you'd think they are. And I would always accidentally on purpose have one of those in the background. I mean, now what have I got done now? I've put a big PC in the background accidentally. You will make decisions about what you think I am and who I am by what you see behind me. And that's the advantage of having a real background, not a fake background. Now, if you want a fake background, then have a background that is obviously not fake. And what I mean by that is it's something abstract, or it's a marketing message. It's a plain background with your company name and your name and logos and things like that. Not too busy, not too much to read, but something that's interesting. If you've won an award, put the award in your background. I have this, well, I think it is beautiful sideboard. It's actually got it from my parents. I inherited it from my parents, and I just love the color of it. It really looks good in lights. It's got this lovely redwood. I think I don't know what wood it is. It's older than me. I know that. But it looks nice. It looks pretty. I bought this lamp because it looks nice. It adds some interest. Backgrounds really make an impression. If you're at work in your, fantastic suite that you have for dealing with people, show it off. Have I labored this point enough? Okay, maybe I have. So let's go on to the next thing. We've talked about our audio being good. We talked about our video being good. The next thing that crashes the world is what I've got. Now, I've got to remember which way I'm pointing now. That way, isn't it? Is the screen share. Now, there will be some people at this point falling off their chairs in laughter because I've just done a show and I completely mucked up the opening song. The opening song was playing twice as an echo. Why? Because I was screen sharing. I was screen sharing and I forgot that I had selected the option to screen share my sound. Now, hopefully, if I've got the settings right, I can now show you this window. But it's not going to appear. I think it's going to appear, but it's not going to appear because I'm trying to do Zoom inside Zoom. There we are. It's appeared now. So it's I've just checked on the YouTube that it's got through. Okay, so this is the sharing screen. And what you've got to take notice of when you're screen sharing, and this is the third area where we have problems and, you know, can you see my slides and all that sort of thing, is this thing on the right-hand side. And they've added a lot of features in Zoom and quite a few people have just either ignored them or just not noticed they're there. So I am sharing my screen 3. Yes, I got 3 screens on my computer. You don't need 3 screens. But anyhow, I've got 3 screens. And so you can see I've highlighted that I'm sharing screen 3. And I've got the settings as content only. So I'm only sharing the content. Now I can share the content as a background. I've got the ability to share it as over the shoulder. So that'll be me and the content. But this only really works properly. And I can always have it side by side. But this really only works in meetings. This doesn't really work so well in webinars, these options. And you can see that I've got a screen layout in this webinar where I've got me next to, got to remember it's over there, pointing the opposite way. So remember, if you don't put mirroring on, it's always the opposite way. So that is where the screenshot, I've got a thing. This is called Production Studio for those people that are running Webinar Plus or events. This is a free add-on for you that's allowing me to lay out this screen. But on the screen share, you've got those options and you can see at the top, it shows me what it should look like. What you need to watch out for though, is the buttons below, because these can make or break your screen share for you. The first one is share sound. And that's what I broke earlier because I was playing the YouTube video to make sure that we were on YouTube. And of course the sound was coming out of that, but because I was sharing sound, the sound went out to the audience. So if you particularly want to share your sound of your computer, because maybe you're playing a video or something like that, although you shouldn't play a video because there's an option to play video. But if you're going to generate sound that you want your audience to hear, then you will consider, I say will consider because there's lots of different ways of doing this, you will consider clicking the share sound button. But I have to warn you, and as I said, I fell by this wayside on this one today. Any sound your computer makes, if somebody emails you and there's a beep, if somebody WhatsApps you and it does a WhatsApp noise, all those sounds will get sent to everybody. So sharing sound for your screen share should be used very, very, very sparingly. The next one, though, is important. Optimize video sharing. This is really Zoom trying to make an efficient connection for you. So if Zoom does a fast connection of all your screen shares all the time, it takes up lots of network. It may cause stutters. It may overload your internet connection. It can cause all sorts of problems. So Zoom will try to be economical with your screen shares. And if you are not sharing any animated videos or any animated content, then you can turn off optimize for video sharing and Zoom will deal with your screen share in a much more efficient way. You'll get a much more efficient connection. Your PC or Mac or whatever your device is will not have to work so hard. And if you're wireless, which is even another issue, then that will not be so overloaded if you are not sharing video and you untick that button. So again, don't tick that button unless you particularly want video animations. And let's get to the last two ones. So the last two about Zoom windows. So I am showing you at the moment my screen share window from Zoom. But most of the time, you won't want your audience to see your Zoom control buttons. I mean, for instance, I can drag my toolbar over now and you'll be able to see that because I've got the option on to share my, well, I haven't, you see, because here it is, share toolbar. So if I click that button as well, you will see my toolbar. Now, to make these things work, I always think it's best to hit the share button again, but a lot of times you don't need to do that. But I prefer to do that. I can reshare and then the share button goes away because I've just reshared. But because I said the toolbar can be available, you see the toolbar can be seen. Now, most of the time, you wouldn't want the toolbar to be seen. So when you go to your share button, I've clicked it again, you see, you would turn off these. And if I turn off these, what's going to happen is these two windows are going to disappear. I'm going to see them, but you won't. You'll see what's underneath. So that's all you need to do. If you get those three things right, you don't have to worry about doing your presentations and looking good and feeling good when you get onto webinars. You take all the worries away. So let's just go back through them one more time. I'm going to drag this down a bit. I'm going to put that over there, if you don't mind. So you see, I can click on this button. Now I can show you because now we're sharing the share. So I click on this button and I'm able to see the drop down, or it would have gone up if it was at the bottom of the screen, of all my speaker and microphones. I want to make sure I've got the right one. If I don't know if I've got the right one, I can mute myself so you can't hear me do this, but I'm not going to mute myself so you can hear me, but you won't see you hear the replies. I can hit the test speaker and microphone button. Let me pull the window down to show you what happens. You can see the bars going up. You can't hear anything because it's coming into my headset. I promise you, I can hear it playing a little tune. And I can see the bars moving. So I can test that my speaker's working. If it's the wrong speaker, I can press on the button and I can choose the speaker I want. By the way, get to know what all these mean on your computer. Simplest thing to do is just choosing one at a time and you'll hear them. I happen to know the AG is the monitor's speaker. So if I clicked on that, the monitor speaker would make a noise. When you're happy, you've got your speaker working right, you can hit yes. And now you can see as I'm speaking, the bars are moving because it's listening to what I say. When I stop saying, or if I talk on for too long, it will then play back what you've just said. And then you can check that it's got the right volume level. Okay, so I was listening to that coming through. And I can now hit end test. That gets my audio right. Again, let's remember the video. If you go to the video and you go to the effects and settings, you can get in that way, or I can make the thing bigger. Virtual backgrounds. I don't like virtual backgrounds. I don't think that putting a blur on me looks very professional. All right? I don't think it looks professional. There we are. Now you haven't got a clue what's in my background. I would rather, personally, avoid, oh, and that's because it thinks I've got a green screen, so let me turn the green screen. I would personally avoid this. I mean, because look, even I've got a pretty powerful machine, you can see things are going funny because this microphone keeps disappearing. All right, and if I wave my hands around, you can see they keep disappearing. I don't like it. I don't think it looks professional. Personally, I would avoid it. If you want to have a background, then I would have an informational background, like I've got a background of community champions. So that's a background that's acceptable. But you see, it's still the computer's having problems with the background. If you are going to have a background, then get a green screen. You can get pop-up green screens, or use a large sheet or something of a standard color. Even a curtain looks reasonable. But again, you're hiding what you are. You're hiding who you are. You're hiding what you do. Be proud of your background. Put something in your background that impresses people. And I don't mean everybody, just impresses people that you want to impress. whether they're customers, your boss, or whatever. Get your background right. And then the third thing is prepare and check your settings for when you're going to screen share. You don't want the Zoom windows on. I've only got them on so I can share with you what happens. And there's one other little niggly thing which people have problems with. And that's this one here, auto frame. Auto frame asks Zoom to put you in the middle of the frame. So if I'm over here, he said, trying not to strangle himself with his headset, and I turn auto frame on, can you see it's trying to think about moving me around? Now, see, it's only done a little bit because we're in the video program. It doesn't affect so much, but it's trying to make sense of me and move me around. And people complain about that because they say, "Oh, I'm moving. Can you see how if I turn it on and off, it reframes me to try and make me sit better and be better." So if you do find that you're moving in the window, it's probably that. Although if you've got a Mac, Apple has a center stage type system which works in a similar way. And sometimes that can be moving you and it's not Zoom at all. That again is frustrating. But quite frankly, if you can get your microphone nailed before the meeting starts, you can check your video before the meeting starts. And when you're screen sharing, don't share sound. Don't optimize video sharing if you're not going to share anything that's animated. Turn off all the Zoom window shares because you're unlikely to want to share them all like I am today. And quite frankly, if you nail those three subjects, you shouldn't have any worries about coming on Zoom, joining meetings, joining webinars, joining presentations, because those three things, they might be the basics, but we all know it only takes a few seconds for people to make a decision about whether they like you. And if you look good and they can hear you, you're 3/4 of the way there already. So I'll be back in a fortnight with some questions out of the community that have been raised. But thank you for your time today. Thanks for taking the trouble to watch this. Please share it. I've got a 1,000-seat virtual stadium in my account here. So if you want to go onto the hub and come and join me live, you're welcome. You're very welcome. And if we could break it, I only need 997 of you to join me, because there's 3 of me here. So 997 of you join me, and I overload this account. I'll quite happily go back to Zoom and ask for more. This is your chance to interact through the Zoom community forums. Please join, please follow, please watch. So many people have asked for this sort of thing. Here it is, please use it. And then we'll try and get some more people to join us. And I've got some more fun things that I can show you. But the most important thing is enjoy your Zooms. Love your Zooms. Be proud of your Zooms. And I look forward to Zooming with you again soon. Bye-bye.
Here's a strong first draft anthem for the Zoom community forums and the new Zoom community live sessions. Shema. Whoa! Someone's got a question. Someone's stuck today. A setting disappeared somewhere. A meeting went astray. They type it in the forum, hoping someone sees. Then voices from the community bring answers with the keys. Not just a help desk, not just a screen. It's people helping people with every tool between. Zoomers, users, hosts, and guides all standing side by side. When we share what we know, the whole room comes alive. We're building it together, one question at a time. In the Zoom community, where every voice can shine. Hey! Every other Friday, we bring the answers live, with demos, chats, and problem solving, helping ideas thrive. So raise your hand, jump in the room. There's always more to learn. In the Zoom community, we help the whole world turn. Sometimes words are not enough. A screenshot shows the way. Sometimes it takes a live walkthrough to make the problem fade. The forum starts the story. The live room brings the spark. From how do I fix this to now I've hit the mark. Employees with the product, users with the need, champions with experience, all helping others lead. No one knows it all alone. That's why we gather here to listen, learn, and pass it on with answers loud and clear. Yeah, we're building it together, one question at a time. In the Zoom community, where every voice can shine. Every other Friday, we bring the answers live, with demos, chats, and problem solving, helping ideas thrive. So raise your hand, jump in the room. There's always more to learn. In the Zoom community, we help the whole world turn. From meetings to webinars, events and rooms as well. From where's that button to stories we can tell. Every question matters, every answer grows, because the more we share it, the more the community knows. We're building it together, one question at a time. In the Zoom community, where every voice can shine. Hey! Every other Friday, we bring the answers live, with demos, chats, and problem solving, helping ideas thrive. So bring your questions, bring your wins, bring the things you've tried. In the Zoom community, we solve them side by side. Ask it, share it, show it, solve it, learn it, build it. Zoom community live. Ask it, share it, show it, solve it. Every other Friday, we bring the forum alive.
Thanks, everyone. See you in 2 weeks' time.